Hi all, I seem to have a remarkably lucky bullet tournament in the recent League Chess titled Bullet Arena, so every opponent going titled. I'll give the link in the description and pinned comment of this video. There's also a blog post which covers some other games, but this was one of my favourites, even though it was extremely blunderful. I warn you in advance. So I was playing against a grandmaster called Bokharov-Ivan. That seems to be a real name. Maybe it is Ivan Bokharov. So this is an interesting game starting with knight c3. So I like to get people out of their opening theory. So this Dunst opening has got many names. It's quite dangerous, I find. So e4, d4, knight ce2, knight c6, knight g3, knight f6, knight f3, e5. It's nice to have a pet system, especially on the faster time controls. We see bishop c4, bishop d6, d3, black castles, a3, and now the annoying bishop e6. Yes, okay, bishop a2. Perhaps also I could have considered b3 and just welcome the exchange there. But bishop a2, we have bishop takes a2, and usually I quite often have better luck when this light square bishop is taken out. My f5, the f5 square for this knight is often quite dangerous. So rook takes a2. The thing is, this rook has been inconvenienced. We see rook e8, knight g5, h6, and now h4. I really like this kind of fishing pole attack with the option of knight f5. So bishop f8, knight f5. This is a naughty move. This is a blunderful move, but I'm thinking, you know, the piece activity in the context of a faster time limit, you know, creates complications and problems for the opponent to solve. And as Tartakower rather said, the blunders are all there waiting to be made. So especially on the faster time limits, I think if you create piece activity for yourself and complications, there will be problems for the opponent to solve, especially if their king is on the line for an inaccuracy. You're increasing the penalty for any blunders as well, the severity of any penalty. So here, yeah, trying to activate the rook, especially around the opponent's king, is dangerous. We see g6, and now queen f3, h takes, h takes. So technically, according to engines, this position is completely lost for white. It should be completely lost for white. We see knight h5, and now I'm quite happy though to go with this plan. At least I've kind of got a plan of moving my king and getting the rook round to h1. It's a simple plan. Rook e6, we have king e2. Now knight e7 is a mistake, and nearly technically white is about equal. So already it seems from such a move that it's you know, it's getting dangerous. I play bishop d2, queen e8, rook a1, f6. Now queen h4. Now I'm asking for trouble with a tempo gainer. Apparently queen h3 is better. If knight g6, g3, this is actually perhaps a little bit more dangerous, and black has a small edge but nothing more. With queen h4 I seem to have blundered into a major tempo gainer, knight g6. Queen g3, knight f4 check, bishop takes f4, e takes, queen takes f4, but now another mistake. So Tartakower is really quite right, especially on the faster time controls. So this mistake here, bishop d6, allows queen g4, f takes, and now rook h1. I'm technically in an even position, but now a really big mistake, queen g6. So can you see that actually this is problematic? Rook g6 had to be played, and after rook h5, queen c6 with an even position, it seems. But with queen g6, white to play for 100 points. What would you play here? Okay, rook h5, but it seems as though, hold on, black's clinging on with bishop f4. So what do I play? I play g3, try and nudge that bishop away, bishop c1, and now I try and disconnect the bishop, f4 interference for free. Well, for a pawn. So I really want to play rook g5. So we have g takes f4. But actually, you know, there's a problem here. My opponent set me a trap here. If you know, what would you play in this position? I shouldn't give too much here, but it seems, yeah, there is a trap here being set. But thankfully, I find a nice little tactic. Now that I've disconnected the G5 square, that's all what I really wanted to do. But there is a tactic here, a mean tactic. Sometimes what you intended is not what is really effective anymore, because the bishop's still kind of x-raying G5. So what would you play here? Okay, I find knight e7 check, thankfully. If I played rook G5, there's f3 check. That would be a cold shower to my attack. End of game. So thankfully, I find knight e7 check, and I win the queen. And after rook h7 check, e5 check to try and win the rook now. It's all turned into a disaster for black. Yep, I know. Chess is fun, isn't it? So here I'm just chasing the king and mating the king now, like this. So that was one of the fun, blunderful, super blunderful bullet games recently. But you might want to check out the blog link in the pinned comment actually for more context around this game. So eventually, out of over 300 title players, I actually came in the top 50, and that's the highest ranking I've had in those bullet arenas. I think one takeaway point for me is also sometimes you just need to play quickly. Anything, maximize win probability, whatever it takes to maximize win probability, you've got to do. So the faster time limit is often around winning on time, it has to be said, but also dangerous positions with big penalties for problems to solve if they're not solved correctly, and they result in huge king safety issues. Even a grandmaster opponent like here can just collapse a technically winning position when you've got things pointed at the king, like Tau. I have been studying Tau a lot. It does seem to generate a lot of luck, but basically the stakes are high for any mistakes that are made. So I think the whole infrastructure around that that Tartakower quotation is very interesting. If you're super good at picking out the self-destruct moves, the forcing move tactics, you can really then exploit the blunders, capitalize on them when they are made. So I hope there's something interesting about this game, and check out the blog post as well. So also my courses, you can check them out there, Kingscrusher TV/chess courses. Hopefully the Tau course is going to be coming out before the end of this month. I'm looking at a few more games and going to be going into my conclusions and observations generally. That has been a super thrilling course to create actually, so I'm hoping it will be quite a thrill to check it out when it does arrive, hopefully before the end of this month. So that will be at Kingscrusher TV/chess courses. Okay, comments, questions, like, share, subscribes, all appreciated. And yeah, the blog post in the pinned comment, check that out as well. Okay, thanks so much.